It's about time a new big team battle game entered the market. Every few months, old war games like Battlefront 2 and Battlefield 1 find a resurgence in players. Why? Because we're starved for games with huge battles and dozens of players. Just look at those metrics. 500,000 players peak on Steam for a beta? Clearly, Battlefield 6 is doing something right. To boot, it'll only be the third big team battle game that's released this decade, following 2042 in 2021 and BattleBit Remastered in 2023. With no real competition beyond its own legacy, how does Battlefield 6 actually fare? Will it satisfy those looking to be a cog in the war machine? Battlefield 6 feels classic. Not bare bones like 5, but classic. Old school DNA. A return to form. Huge teams of at least 24 players. Core game modes about capturing and defending territory. Real classes that each have their own jobs. And impactful combined arms. These four pillars make up the core big team battle experience, and Battlefield 6 adheres to it almost to a T. The most average Battlefield 6 match will consist of players running around pushing or defending objectives, doing their jobs, and using armor or aircraft to bolster their teammates. Watching teammates sprint through gunfire to revive you or drop supplies at the front line captures the teamwork Battlefield thrives on. People really do that here, and the game properly rewards you for being a good team player. You can routinely see players at the top of the scoreboard with very few kills, just providing value for their team in other ways. It's a big improvement over Battlefield 5 and 2042, which altered the foundation of Battlefield drastically. People didn't rush for fallen teammates or proactively hunt tanks as much as the designers intended them to. In 5 and 2042, objectives felt secondary to being a big badass hero. Battlefield 6 fixes that with player-rewarding teamwork. For example, one of the best quality of life changes here are the revive mechanics. You can revive anyone in your squad slowly by dragging them to safety, regardless of class. But if you're a support, you can do it 4 times faster, and they have access to the instant revive defib too, at a cost of only 50% revived health. It's the best implementation of revival yet, and the system clearly has had a lot of thought put into it. Speaking of classes, let's talk about them a bit. They're the standard 4 Battlefield classes, with a few extra details to lead players to expected outcomes. What does that mean? Well, now they've introduced class perks, little bonuses unlocked through earned score with a recharging active ability enabled at level 3. A recon setting up a deploy beacon in an enemy backline and just farming kills is possible with the unlocked weapons here. But this is actually less effective with the class perk system because recon level 2 means every headshot with a sniper makes your target unrevivable. If you choose a gun other than snipers, you miss out on this perk. So no running and gunning for recons unless they want to completely ignore these bonuses. As the game evolves and weapons are added, this will ensure classes play like they should. But it's also not perfect. Currently, Engineer seems to be the least played class as they specialize in repairing vehicles and using SMGs. But if you don't have any vehicles on your team, they're just not as engaging as other roles. Their level 3 ability is to repair tanks 50% faster, but it's not exactly useful if there aren't any tanks or if the map is infantry only. The class perk system is good, but there are definitely some kinks to iron out. Guns are also great. Carbines are different from assault rifles, which are different from LMGs and DMRs. Each class's specialized weapon feels suited to them, and going in that direction will work well for DICE moving forward. There aren't many of them in the beta, but even with the new gunsmith, each weapon still feels distinct and unique. Gunsmith systems are notoriously hard to balance, and while I could do a whole video on them, the short version is that they easily produce one meta setup that dominates the game. For example, a sniper rifle can theoretically be modified into a quick-drawing one-shot machine at any range, something that's certainly a ton of fun, but unhealthy for the game. This will be something to watch in the future. I can imagine there will be several weapons players will routinely complain about for being too strong once the community finds the best arrangement of parts. Battlefield isn't really about the guns themselves, but rather how you use them for the sake of teamwork and coordination. It's fun and functional, but erodes the identity of the game a little bit. Fortunately, it's not a problem right now. There is something strange about this game though, looking past all the shiny new things. It feels very good. Guns, classes, tanks. It's clear that all the development resources were put into the gameplay and map design, which of course is the most important aspect of a game. But there's also a strange lack of culture. I played all weekend, but I could not tell you who the factions are or how they differ. The maps are very well organized and play well, but who you are and which side is defending or attacking is not grounded to the match. Apparently the two factions are NATO and Pax Armada, which is a private military corporation. Who are these people? What do they stand for? These questions matter. They're what turn a good shooter into a memorable experience. Even having fictional countries with their own soldier identities would go a long way. People played Battlefield 1 for the quality, but they stayed because of the atmosphere. I love hearing my Italian medic shout out "Cassetta medica, ecco," when throwing out a bandaged pouch. It's just a little touch that's missing from this title. A little more identity for the player to remember or latch onto would go far. Culture isn't all that it's missing though. Unfortunately, the strategic view isn't a real-time rendering of the actual playing field like it is in Battlefield 1 and 5, but instead more of a tactical map like 2042. That's fine, but it's a little less cool. A bit of a downgrade. I know it's a beta, but Battlefield 6 absolutely must have a server browser on release. Hosting servers is what kept these older games alive through the years, and it's part of Battlefield's DNA to play with the same players through persistent matches. It's a war that switches sides and cycles through locations. Matchmaking just doesn't feel as necessary with this kind of game. It's also invaluable to spectate matches, either just for the spectacle or for gathering footage for us creators. Battlefield 1's tools were extensive and invaluable in creating my video on it. It wouldn't be remotely the same if the perspective was tied to physically playing the match. For this game to truly shine, make it easy for people to make things about it, and make it easy for people to keep playing it well after it stops being officially supported. So, after giving a fair test of all the weapons, game modes, classes, and maps, I wonder if this game is a worthy successor to the Battlefield franchise. If you're very clever, you may have noticed a pattern with all the marketing and gameplay available so far. And yes, you're not crazy for thinking it. This game is a lot like Battlefield 3. Think of Battlefield 6 as a RoboCop of Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 existed as Alex Murphy, the cop, and it lived and died. From its corpse, Battlefield 6 was built for a modern audience. It's faster, more polished, better looking, and it's largely the same game, but it's also strangely different. The same DNA Battlefield 3 came with 14 years ago in a revitalized body. Either it'll feel nostalgic to you, or it'll feel completely fresh. Not a bad strategy by any means, but it is something to be aware of. A return to form. Battlefield 6 is largely Battlefield 3 in a new body, but with a little bit of its soul left behind. It's some of the old and some of the new. It might just be what the market wants, but maybe not what it needs. I'd buy it for $1. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. This has been Game DNA. Stay smart, doubt what you know, and have fun.